Chapter 1. Your couch is your coffin. Your couch is your coffin, not literally, but for your potential, your ambition, your edge. It's where most of it dies. You sit there every night, telling yourself you deserve a break, that you've earned it, that you'll do the thing tomorrow. But the truth? You said that yesterday, and the day before that, and the week before that. You keep calling it rest, but it's not rest if you didn't earn it. It's sedation. The world has tricked you. It gave you a padded prison cell and called it freedom. A soft bed, a glowing screen, an endless buffet of comfort. And you said, thank you. But here's the price. You're no longer at war with your limits. You're not chasing purpose. You're chasing convenience. And slowly, without pain, without noise, you've become a stranger to yourself. There's a version of you out there, ripped, sharp, unbreakable, unshakable, unstoppable, but you'll never meet him. If you keep choosing the couch, that version of you doesn't show up when you're comfortable. He shows up when you're uncomfortable, when you're tired but still move, when you're scared but still act, when you don't want to, and still do. Let's be brutally honest. You don't need more content. You don't need more books. You don't need another inspiring reel. You need one thing, to get off the couch. Because every second you sit there, stuck between I'll start tomorrow and I'm too tired today, you're making a decision. Even indecision is a decision. And it costs you everything. You're not lazy, you're sedated, you're addicted, not to heroin, not to alcohol, but to ease, to comfort, to one more episode, to 5 more minutes. And that addiction, it has one goal, to kill your ambition quietly, so it doesn't scream, so it doesn't hurt, so you never even notice it happening, until one day you wake up 10 years older and wonder what the hell happened to your life. You had plans, you had dreams, you had fire, but now you have Netflix, you have excuses, you have someday. Let me ask you something. How long have you been saying soon? 1 year? 2? More? Soon is the most dangerous word in your vocabulary because you don't need more time. You need more courage. Right now, there's something you already know you should be doing, and you're not doing it. And every day that you don't do it, you're casting a vote for the soft version of yourself, the one who stays small, the one who breaks promises, the one who chooses sleep over legacy. That version of you, he dies peacefully every night, and you wake up a little more hollow. So let me be clear, your couch is not neutral. It is not harmless. It is not just a break. It is the altar where your dreams are sacrificed. One nap at a time, one skip at a time, one later at a time. And the longer you sit there, the harder it gets to stand back up. But you still can. That's the good news. You still have time. You still have breath. You still have this one decision: to move, to act, to do the thing you promised yourself when no one was watching. The couch is calling, but so is your legacy. And only one gets to win. Chapter 2. How Comfort Rewired Your Brain. You weren't designed for this. You weren't designed for likes, for endless choices, for dopamine at your fingertips. You were built to move, to sweat, to hunt, build, create, protect, explore. But now, you're just scrolling. And the worst part, it feels normal. The world you live in was not made to make you strong. It was made to make you obedient, comfortable, distracted, and it's doing its job perfectly. Your brain is not the enemy, but it is built for efficiency. It's always asking, what's the easiest way to survive this moment? And in today's world, the answer is always the same: Don't move. Don't think too hard. Don't change. You're overstimulated. You get dopamine from scrolling, dopamine from a like, from a microwave beep, from sugar, from noise, from fake wins. But you no longer get it from effort, from momentum, from actual movement. That's the problem. You've rewarded your brain so much for doing nothing. That doing something feels painful. That's not weakness. That's wiring. We used to run for fun. Now we pay people to tell us to walk on treadmills. We used to eat what we hunted. Now we Uber it. We used to sit with our thoughts. Now we can't go 5 seconds without reaching for the phone. Your brain isn't failing you. It's responding exactly how it was trained. By convenience, by comfort, by culture. You feel stuck. Not because you're lazy, but because you're tired of starting things and never finishing them. Because the second it gets hard, your brain rings the alarm. Back to the couch. Back to your phone. Back to the loop. That loop is not random. It was engineered. And it's been reinforced thousands of times. Your brain was meant to chase real reward. The kind that comes from effort, from progress, from pain. But now, it gets reward without effort, gratification without growth. And here's the cost. You've become afraid of stillness, afraid of boredom, afraid of doing hard things, even when they matter, because your nervous system is so used to dopamine hits. It thinks silence is danger. Here's the real threat. Comfort rewires your brain to reject the very things that would change your life. You avoid the workout, not because you hate exercise, but because your brain now associates pain with failure, not growth. You delay starting the business, the book, the rebuild, not because you're incapable, but because it's not instantly rewarding. And in a world of instant pleasure, real work feels like punishment. But it's not. It's the cure. Here's the truth. Every time you do something hard and push through it, you're not just building muscle. You're reclaiming your brain. Every uncomfortable action, it rewires your nervous system. It teaches your mind that discomfort is safe, that struggle is sacred, that you're not here to survive. You're here to lead. So the next time you're tempted to scroll, to sleep in, to push it to tomorrow, remind yourself, that's not your voice. That's your wiring. And wiring can change. All it takes is one uncomfortable action, repeated enough times, to teach your brain that you're in control. Not the couch, not the cravings, not the comfort. You. Chapter 3. The Dopamine Trap. You don't need heroin to be an addict. You just need a phone, Wi-Fi, and a few apps built by people who know your brain better than you do. Dopamine isn't evil. It's fuel. It's what made our ancestors hunt, buildings survive. But now, it's your leash. Back then, dopamine came after the challenge, after the fire was lit, after the beast was killed, after the harvest came in. Now, it comes for nothing, for pixels, for buzz, for one more meaningless swipe. You used to earn it. Now you rent it from companies who profit when you feel worse and scroll more. Here's how the trap works. You feel uncomfortable. You reach for relief. You get a hit, dopamine. Your brain says, this is the answer. Next time you're stressed, you repeat the cycle, and over time, discomfort becomes the trigger, and cheap pleasure becomes the answer. That's not a habit. That's a drug. You're not addicted to the platform. You're addicted to the feeling of being seen, being fed, being distracted from the real work you're avoiding. Because the real work, it's quiet, it's lonely. It doesn't give you likes, but it gives you peace. And that's the one thing this loop will never offer you. You don't feel stuck because you're broken. You feel stuck because your reward system is hijacked. Your brain no longer celebrates progress. It celebrates convenience. So when you try to build, when you sit down to think, when you go outside to walk, it feels wrong. Not because it is wrong, but because your wiring is used to easier wins. And that's how dopamine betrays you. It punishes slowness. It punishes silence. It punishes discipline. Because those things don't offer instant reward. They offer transformation. And transformation takes time, takes effort, takes discomfort. So now you're faced with a choice. Keep chasing the feeling, or chase the future. Let me be clear. The dopamine trap is not just about your phone. It's about everything. That bag of chips you reach for at midnight. That relationship you stay in just to feel needed. That habit of starting but never finishing. All of it gives you hits, but no peace, no progress, no power, because dopamine wants you dependent, but your future wants you free. You want to feel alive again? You need to feel discomfort again. You need to go a full day without reaching for the thing that gives you the hit. Let your system panic. Let your mind race. Let your cravings scream. And then, let them pass. Because when they do, you'll find something they've been hiding. Your edge. You don't reset your brain by reading about dopamine. You reset it by starving it. One hard hour, one boring walk, one honest workout, one silent room. Not because those things fix you, but because they reclaim you, your energy, your attention, your fire. The world taught you to chase the spike. I'm asking you to chase the stillness, because behind every cheap hit is the life you keep saying you want. And behind every uncomfortable moment is the man you could have been all along. Choose the trigger, or choose the truth, but only one leads to freedom. Chapter 4. Trade. Pain now for power later. The reason you're stuck is because pain scares you more than regret. You'll do anything to avoid it, even if it costs you your future. You've been taught that pain is a punishment, that if something hurts, you're doing it wrong, that success should feel smooth, that growth should feel good. They lied. Pain isn't the enemy, it's the passage. Every version of you that's stronger, that's clearer, that's more respected, he lives on the other side of the pain you're avoiding right now. But you don't have to go far to meet him. You just have to stop running from what's hard, because nothing meaningful comes without resistance. Think of your proudest moments, your defining moments. Were they easy? Of course not. That time you kept going when you wanted to quit. That day you spoke your truth when it would have been safer to stay quiet. That season you dragged yourself through the mud to become who you said you'd be. Those moments didn't give you dopamine. They gave you dignity, and you can't buy that. You can't fake it. You have to earn it. With pain. There's no shortcut, no hack, no 5-step plan that saves you from discomfort. If you want peace, you have to walk through war. The war against your weakness. The war against your comfort. The war against your need to feel good before you do something great. That's the war that turns boys into men, spectators into leaders, and victims into kings. Every time you do something painful on purpose, you're casting a vote for your future self, for your freedom, for your fire. Cold shower, vote. Early workout, vote. Honest conversation, vote. Choosing broccoli over bullshit, vote. Pain is currency, and you're either spending it on growth or wasting it on guilt. You don't need more motivation. You need friction, struggle, proof that you still have claws. Because if you don't feel that friction, you're not in the fight. You're in the stands, cheering for others, liking, subscribing, commenting, but not building, not changing. not bleeding for something real. That's the difference between content and commitment. Pain now, or pain later. There is no painless path. Only the one you respect, and the one you regret. Because 5 years from now, you're either proud of what you did today, or haunted by what you didn't. That decision belongs to you, every damn day. So here's the real question. Are you willing to suffer a little now, so you can be free later? Are you willing to look soft today, so you can be hard to kill tomorrow? Because nothing you want, nothing you need, nothing that will save your future comes easy. It comes from sacrifice, sweat, silence, and suffering that leads somewhere. And that's the catch. Pain with purpose becomes power. Pain you avoid, it becomes poison. It sits in your gut, turns to shame, rotten regret that makes you feel less every time you remember what you could have done. But pain you lean into, it builds armor. It sharpens your edge. It teaches your nervous system that you can endure and still rise. And once you learn that, there's nothing the world can do to break you again. This is your trade, comfort now or greatness later. Which one are you choosing? Because only one will be worth it in the end. Chapter 5. Do the hard thing. You already know what it is, the thing you're avoiding. It's not a mystery. It's not hiding. It's right in front of you. And you've been walking around it for months, maybe years. You know what it is. The one conversation, the one decision, the one leap that would change everything. But you haven't done it. Because it's hard, so you delay it. You talk around it. You call it waiting for the right time. But the truth? The time is now. You've trained yourself to hesitate. And that hesitation, it's not harmless. It's the gap between who you are and who you pretend to be. It's the space where your potential slowly bleeds out. Every time you say, "Not today," you vote against the version of you that would have done it, and vote for the one who doesn't. So let's stop pretending this is small. That one hard thing you keep putting off, it's not just another task. It's the hinge, the moment everything pivots. Because once you do the hard thing, the rest follows. Clarity follows. Power follows. Momentum follows. But not before. Never before. That's why most people never break through. Not because they're weak, but because they negotiate with fear. They give fear a seat at the table. They talk to it like it's reasonable. Fear says, "It's too soon. You're not ready. You need more time." And most people believe it. But not you. Not anymore. Because now, you see it. You're not lost. You're not broken. You're not stuck. You're just one hard decision away from a completely different life. And you already know what it is. Maybe it's finally cutting ties. Maybe it's owning your mess. Maybe it's showing up to the work you've dodged for years. Whatever it is, it's time. Here's what they don't tell you. You don't have to be fearless to act. You just have to act scared. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing it anyway. Even when your stomach knots. Even when your voice shakes. Even when everything in you says, "Wait." Do it anyway. And watch who you become. Because the moment you do the hard thing, you shift. You change the way you see yourself. You prove to your mind, "I'm not who I was." You rewrite your story with action instead of excuses. That is transformation. And no one can give it to you. Not a coach, not a course, not another damn YouTube video. Only you. So let's end the fantasy. Let's stop waiting for motivation, for permission, for clarity, for some sign from the sky. This is the sign, this voice, this moment, this pause. The moment you stop thinking and start becoming. Do the hard thing, not for views, not for claps, not for Instagram stories. Do it because your soul is tired of shrinking. Do it because regret is loud and permanent. Do it because you still have time, but not forever. Whatever it is, do it. Do it scared. Do it messy. Do it late. Do it now. Just do it. And then you'll know. The man you were chasing, he was always on the other side of this. Chapter 6, Final Challenge and Outro. This isn't about motivation. It never was. It's about a decision. The kind of decision that doesn't get applause, that no one sees, that won't make a highlight reel. But it changes everything. Because deep down, you know what happens if you don't act. Nothing. And nothing is more dangerous than fear, pain, or even failure. Because it's slow. It's quiet. It steals your life in fragments. One delayed decision at a time. This is where most people turn back. Right here, at the threshold. They feel the fear. They hear the doubts. They think about all the ways it could go wrong, and they retreat back to safety, back to comfort, back to numb. But not you. You came this far for a reason. You stayed through every word. You felt something move in your chest. Don't ignore that, because that's not hype. That's not temporary emotion. That's your future knocking. You've seen what happens when you wait. You've lived the loop. You've tasted the regret. You've had nights where you couldn't sleep, not because of noise, but because of silence. The silence that comes when you know you're capable of more, and you're still playing small. But this is where it ends. This is where the loop breaks, where the page turns, where the legacy begins. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. So here's the challenge. No fluff, no more prep, no more research. Do the one thing you've been avoiding. You know what it is. Make the call, send the message, lace the shoes, set the alarm, end the habit, begin the rebuild. Don't aim for perfection, aim for honesty, because that's what changes lives, not your pace, but your proof that today you finally became the kind of person who acts. And when it gets hard again, because it will, you'll come back to this moment, the moment you drew a line in the sand, the moment you stopped choosing ease, the moment you chose yourself, the real one, over the version that was just surviving. That's legacy. It's not what people say about you. It's what they feel because of you. Because you had the courage to change. So here's what I want you to do. Drop a comment below. I did the hard thing. Not for me. For you. To mark this moment. To seal it. To prove to yourself that this wasn't just another video. It was the one you acted on. And if you're still watching, you're different. So let's go deeper. It's time to break your patterns. I'll see you there.